say when there are no words. Feel a song that's never been heard. How do you know when you hear the call? What do you do when you've done it all?
Yes, indeed. Good afternoon, morning, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers, and sisters. This is the Apex Online Racing Project Cars 2 Endurance League, Season 3, Round number 5 here at the Daytona Road Course. It is the grand finale for this season, and unfortunately I missed the last race 2 weeks ago. It was actually the first race that we had a different winner on the GTE side, so I would have to miss that one, but here we are nonetheless. We have 21 drivers joining us for this race. It's a nearest damn even split. It is 11 LMP2s and 10 GTEs. So let's see what we are going to find, and we are in for a very wet Daytona as well. We've got some new names as far as this particular race is concerned against the standard lineup. As you can see, the GTEs are beginning to set their times. We have Calfee that has set the opening time in the GTE in the Ford 143.3. It's already been beaten by Dawu in the M6 running the Stars and Stripes livery. Leon the Sick One is a name I'm familiar with from the GT3 Elite League. He joins us in the Corvette. He says a 142.6, but of course it is the GTE leader De Heidi that has put it on pole in that mighty Corvette. Hello to those that have joined us in the stream. You are always welcome to join you. I'm happy for you guys to join me for this particular event. Let's see who else we find. Andrex has got his name on the board with 144.0 in his beloved M6. Oh, locking up a little bit, just coming through the last few turns. And let's see, Warn Tire has got his name on the board as well with a 143.267 rather. Oblator, used to seeing him in a Lamborghini in the G3 League. He is 7th with a 144.4 in the Ford, and he gets underway for another go. Douglas Picklewickle has joined us for this particular event. He's a gentleman I've commentated on many times. Haven't commentated on him for a while as he has had a dead steering wheel for several months. I'm glad to see him back in the driver's seat. He is 1:46.0 at the moment, and Dangerous Janetta is out there as well in the Ford. He has yet to put a time on the board. We will see how our drivers fare on this Daytona circuit. Responding to a message that a competitor that is normally with us is one of our LMP2 drivers, Doc. He's sadly not feeling well, so he's decided to not take part in tonight's event, but he has offered to sit in the box with me, and if it starts to quieten down as the race progresses, then I may well take him up on that particular offer. Ferrari in the background, that is the only Ferrari in the GT field. That is a ticklish pickle wickle. We will follow DG around the last turn 12 as he comes to complete his lap. We saw him going through the bus stop chicane, turns 8 through to 11. So he's just coming to complete his lap. And he puts a time of, with a slightly unusual move there from DG. So he's not got a time on the board. Oh, there we go, just across the line. That's, oh dear, 2:14.7. Let's follow him around. Let's actually follow DG through the lap. Into turn 1, this can be quite awkward to slow that down because you're trying to turn and brake at the same time. Now the chicane area of 2, or it's only referred to as turn 2 on my map. Now, heavy braking zone into 3. Commentated a couple of times on this particular map, in this particular circuit, as DG now comes through turn 4. We had someone skew right across that grass area there and actually smash into someone over here minding their own business as DG now comes through turn 5. Hard on the gas towards turn 6. And down a couple of gears and now returns to the banking. Oops, nope, that's not how you do it. Well, that brought that lap to an end as Calfee has gone back into the pit. He's coming out. I'm sure it's getting close to someone. Who's he getting close to? Douglas Bigglewickle, our sole Ferrari runner, who set another time. He's now got 1:44.449 on the board. Currently sits in 8th position. Now, interestingly, Heidi has set the pole time 1:41.194. That in itself isn't the interesting part, but he has chosen to come out again. Dawu has got into second in the M6. Very nice time, 1:41.7. Now, last time around, the Corvette was an utterly dominant force, but we have had, I believe, 2 patches since I last commentated on this particular arena, so we will see whether the Corvette dominance remains to be the case. Dawu then continues on his merry way. Look at that, Dawu and Leon separated by only 0.06 of a second, which, has just seen Leon lock up a little bit, coming through turn 3. That's not going to help him on his way around the circuit. Now, for those unfamiliar with the formats, we have a 20-minute qualifying session split into 2 segments, 10 minutes for the GTEs and then 10 minutes for the LMP2s. Any GTEs that are on a hot lap. Oops! Leon gets a little bit too greedy on the gas at turn 3. At turn 5, beg your pardon. As, he's coming out of the infield section now. He's pressing on though. He's still looking to complete the lap. He might have enough fuel in the tank to do another lap. So any of the GTEs that are on a hot lap when they cross the line at the 10-minute stage, which has another 50 seconds left to run, they are allowed to complete that particular lap, but they must not hold up any of the LMPs. We've just seen Andrex actually jump into 6th position with a 1:43.030 in his M6. Dawu has chosen to return to the pit, as has White Ghost. We can see White Ghost sit his lap. There he is in the white Ford. He's returning to the pits, actually doing a nearly running into one of the TX3 LMP2s there. Oh, and he shot. That's an impressive move. And worn tyre, 1:42.722 in the Ford. He is in 4th position, and that is his qualifying day done. And there goes one of the Corvettes. That was Leon. Look at that. He's gone into second with that 1:41.599. He can technically complete the lap as he is on a time lap at the moment. He's pressing on. We did see him kick the tail out, and now you can hear the LMPs roar into life. Now out they come. The LMPs are now released they can now get out there and get on with the job of setting their lap time. There goes Endless coming off the blocks as well. Now this, the GTEs that are on field, so which is Heidi, Leon, Calfee, Andrex, Tiglis, Bickle, Oblator and Janetta, they all can complete their laps, but they must not hold up the LMPs, although at this point the LMPs are on their outlap, so they're not really going to be pushing too hard. Heidi, though, is still pressing on. He's coming up to the bus stop section. Oh, goodness me, he left that very late. Well, if you're still able to join the... You still have time to join the race there, Benze Sabo. Leon should be back in the pits, so if you ping him on Steam, he should be able to answer that question for you. And Heidi's the only the only GTE still on track. He crosses the line and does indeed improve to a 141.115. All of our GTEs now returning to the pits. All of our LMP2s now out on the field. There is TX3 Endless. All of them running the Ligier. I believe it's the Nissan engine they run. None of them opting for the Honda. Daytona, also of the TX3 tribe. James, the black Ligier there. Everybody starting their outlaps. A name I'm not particularly familiar with. Well, welcome to you, Brembo. He's opted to run the yellow Ligier for this particular run. 2 Desert Pack is a name I am familiar with. Ah, now I say no one's running the Honda. That's exactly what 2 Desert Pack's gone for. That growl is the distinct roar of the Honda flavoured Ligier. So interesting to see 2 Desert Pack trying his hand at the Endurance League. I commentate on this particular gentleman in the GT3 Elite League. Along with this man Murphy. He's gone for his distinctive black Ligier there. He's getting the tail out as we start to see some LMP times come on the board, but this is of course their outlap. Storm takes with Storm in his striking black and green Ligier. He's in VR. Oh no, that's unfortunate. Conor McCoy in his orange, again very distinct Ligier for him, coming around the last turn to start his lap. Nick Meadow can be found in a Nissan in the current GT3 season, but is continuing to press on. Popsu also in the GT3 League, and of course bearing the traditional black and green colours of the TX3 tribe on that Ligier. And finally Domino, Doc's teammate, in the black and pink Ligier. Oops, that's a little bit too much curb. That's not going to help your particular, not going to help your quest really, as Murphy has got the first representative time of the LMP2s, 133.8. That's already been beaten by Storm, 133.5. We can follow Storm actually through his lap as James and Brembo actually get onto the top of the board. James initially with a 133.1 and then Brembo with a 133.0. Goodness me, absolutely stunning effort. Through turn 4 for Storm, heavy on the brakes then. Throw it into turn 5 and lots of spitting fire going on as well. Towner has gone into 4th position with that 133.8. And Popsu, 134.6, slots him into 6th. Nick Meadow, 7th at 134.9. And Endless, 135.4. Not a great run for him. And Domino, 9th with that 136.5. And 2 Desert Pack, 138.1 at the back of the pack, with Conor McCoy yet to put a time on the board. Long turn 7. Let it wander out to the right for Storm. 5.5 minutes remaining of this qualifying session into the bus stop section. It's very easy to get very unsettled, but just about manages to hold on to it. Just 0.08 of a second separating James and Brembo for that top spot. He's jumped to the external shot then as Storm flies round turn 12. Does he improve from that 3rd position? Half a second to find to claim the pole. That's the last part of turn 12 to do. Does he do it? He does not. He does not improve from that 133.4, but he presses on nonetheless, who else can we find? There is our pulsator, Brembo. Oh, that was... He's really sliding that car. It's going to be interesting if he drives with that sort of style through the race. And that's actually... I think that's James right behind him. It is indeed. So the second baseman is chasing the pole man on track as well as by time. That's all that separates them. And along he comes. Does Brembo improve? He did not, and neither did James, so they're continuing on their laps. See what they are able to achieve. There is Storm, we were looking at him before. Town up. Where is he? He's just come through turn 5. Is that Endless right behind him? Where is Endless? There he is, he's in 7th. It was indeed Endless right with him. Oh, okay, that's a strange bit of lag there. A very bouncy Endless. Thought for a moment that Endless had forgotten the turn, but instead he has lagged into the wall, so that damage is not correct. That's pretty bad. And we've had a new entrant. Flicken Flarken. Welcome to you. A little bit late to the show. Now this is going to be interesting. This is going to be an interesting way to see if the timing bug has been fixed. If it has, Flicken Flarken will set a time, unless of course he chooses not to set a time. He's on his way. So this is going to be an interesting test to see whether that particular element has been fixed. I'm assuming that Flicken Flarken was Benze Sarsbo. Apologies if I'm not pronouncing that correctly. From the chat. I am not familiar with his name, but welcome to you. Always welcoming new drivers to our leagues. And Brembo did actually improve. He's now at 32.8 in his yellow Ligier. 2 yellow Ligiers. I think Flicken is running the same. He is indeed. Keeping an eye on him. It's only 12 LMPs and 10 GTEs. It's actually rare to have more LMPs than GTEs, but that is the nature of what we have this time around. Ooh, steady. I don't know, he went a little bit deep into turn 3, but it could have just been opted to try and get a faster run out of that particular turn. That was turn 5. I always get 3 and 5 mixed up. They're both heavy right-handers. Round turn 7. Comes our newcomer. It's obviously going to be a while before he gets a lap on the board. Let's have a look at 2 Desert Pack and see if he's able to improve. The Honda powered Ligier has not been run generally throughout the league. It's not been a favourite, and 2 Desert Pack might be highlighting why. And he opts to get out of the way of the TX3 Ligier coming past. Is that Endless? It is indeed. It's the not actually battered Ligier of TX3 Endless has just gone past, but one of the black Ligiers not far behind. So is that James? It is indeed. He's currently second with 3/10 to find to claim that pole spot. All of our Ligiers currently on the field. Where's 2 Desert Pack? There he is. So we saw he had to get out of the way of Endless coming through. That's very weird when that camera first cuts in, the sound doesn't kick in for a while. The 2 Desert Pack is now on a hot lap. You saw him flash on the lights to Endless just then. I think he was assuming Endless was actually slowing completely down. Oh, and again, you actually saw. It looked like, I'm not sure that was correct, it actually looked like the front right tyre of 2 Desert Pack just completely stopped rotating. I'm not convinced that's correct. Where is our new guy? There he is. So he must be on a time lap now. We've got less than 30 seconds to go of qualifying. It's enough time for Flicken Flarken. Unusual name. Like I said before, we're always welcoming new members to our leagues, whether they be the Endurance League, which of course comes to a close here in Daytona this evening. The GT3, be it any of our leagues, we're always welcoming new faces, fresh faces and racing aces. and the qualifying is done. Dom did not improve from that 10th position with that 36.3. Popsu is in 4th position then with that 34.523. That's wrong one. Flicken Flaken, there he is. Does he set a time? Answer is he does. Finally, the timing bug has been fixed. Hurrah! And he said a 1:37.5. Not a bad effort for jumping into the session very, very late. Brembo is holding on to that pole spot. That's James has crossed the line. 33.1. He will not beat that. Storm, though, is on a lap. He crossed the line and did not improve. Tudozapak is the only one still running. Also, the only one that hasn't come back to the pits, but he is under AI control. Qualifying is done, and it is in the order you see. I'm so pleased that that damn timing bug has been fixed in time for this particular race. Timing bug, for those unaware, if you joined the qualifying session after it had started, you got stuck at the bottom of the timing board for all spectators, and you always appeared on lap 1. So I had no idea where anyone stuck in that bug was, because if they were leading the race, everyone else's position was incorrect to me, because of course the game assumed that everyone else was in the positions that it thought, not taking those in the timing bug into consideration. However, that is not something we have to worry about anymore. Fabulous! So just got to let the clock tick down. As one of our newcomers, Brembo, gets the pole for the LMP field. GTE leader Deheidi gets the pole for the GTE field. Storm has returned to the pits. It's Deheidi once again asserting his domination of the GTE field. And it is Brembo that gets the top honours for LMP. And the qualifying is now officially done. Just waiting for the confirmation to come in. And there it is. So Brembo just beating James by 0.3 of a second. So two of the F48's drivers in the top 3. Then Storm, Tautana, Murphy, Popsu, Endless, Nigmido, Conan McCoy and Domino. Tudozapak and Flickenflaken are your LMP runners. Deheidi, I didn't quite have time to go through the GTEs. So Deheidi, Leon the second one, Daewoo, Warntire, Calfee, Andrex, White Ghost, Oblator, Ticklish Pickle and Deja Janetta are your GTE runners. Now is when everybody switches over to their race setup. Any last minute changes they want to make, now is the time to do it. So let's have a look at the championship standings. It is not done and dusted. Both the GTE and LMP field have the possibility of usurping the current top spot to Heidi. With that, as you can see, first, and then 5th. Of course, the one race I was not able to commentate on is the one race he didn't win for the GTE field. Andrex taking the win and bringing him right back into contention for the GTE side. And James still holding on to the lead with 2 wins and 2 podiums. Storm is right up there as well with 2 wins, 1 podium and 1 DNF. It's a shame he was leading the first race very, very comfortably at Algarve and then magically vanished. Right. It is going to be a 2-hour race. There's an additional few minutes added on for the formation lap that we are about to embark on. Again, for those unfamiliar with the format, it is a manual rolling start. So we will be ignoring the lights when they go. Another 30 seconds, but that is such a jarring camera. Let's come away from that. And no sooner do I say that, the start has begun. So of course, it being a oval circuit, the game forces you into a rolling start, and already we've got trouble. Now Calfee has got himself a penalty. That would be unfair, of course, because he wasn't in control of his car. It's a 5-second penalty. He will have that contested post-race. Anyone with damage through no fault of their own have the option to run off and get a pit stop done. What's going to happen now is the field will continue at this kind of pace until we get to the formation point, which will be at the beginning of the last long turn 12, so just after the bus stop area. At which point our race leader, which will be Brembo, will floor it to indicate the beginning of the race. People checking that they can flash their lights. Now, as you can see, it is currently dry, but a thunderstorm is on its way. So this is going to be a wet to dry race. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how our competitors manage the dry phase. But more than half the race is going to be in the wet. So whilst we see how the running order stands at the moment, that does not at all mean that they will stay there for the duration. Oh, it's one of our GTEs that's... Oh, it's White Ghost. White Ghost is making his way through the field. That would indicate that he has damage on his car. You can see there's a little bit of damage on the rear of his car. What he's doing, he's coming through the field. You can see he's actually had a rear impact. He's flashing his lights. He'll also be alerting people on voice comms to indicate he is coming through the field to get to the pits. Now what is going to happen is he will get to the pits, have his damage fixed, and then he will have to sit there and wait for the field to pass him. He is not allowed to return to his original starting position, because by the time everybody passes him in the pits, they will be at racing speed. Also, you can see that, if we bring up the map, you can see that the two fields have split. The back of the LMPs, we go to that, Spick and Flarken. The GTEs are not right with the LMPs. This is so that I can cover both starts. Whoop, wrong one. So Brembo then is now going to slow the field down, and we will. They should be forming their 2x2 line as they start to get close to the start-finish line. As you can see, White Ghost has gone into the pits. There he goes. And Heidi will be bringing the GTE field slightly slower so they can form their 2x2 line as well. And it looks like they are going for a single line rolling start this time. Whatever works for them. So at any moment from now, Brembo has the option to floor it to signify that the race has properly begun. No overtaking later. Oh, goodness me, that was Storm getting very, very close to James. There in third and fourth. Oh no, that's Tao Towner getting very close to Storm. I beg your pardon. Of course, it's third and fourth on track. Of course, I'm not taking White Ghost into consideration. Now, he'll be sat there waiting. Oh, he's going to go to the... Oh, they are actually doing another parade lap. Now, this might allow White Ghost to retake his position. What he's going to do, he will allow the LMP field to go past. Now, this rule has changed since I last commentated in the Endurance League. I do apologise. Either that, or it's either that, or I wasn't aware of the particular rule. Last I knew, if you had damage during the rolling start, you had to wait at the end of the pit lane. But they've opted to do another rolling lap. You can see White Ghost is now going to allow the GT field to go past. Now it's going to be interesting to see whether he retakes his original starting position. I would assume so. No reason why he couldn't do that. I'm not so sure where that was. That's Optor right behind him. And there you go. He's retaken his original position. That's fortunate for White Ghost then that he's been able to do that. So, and second formation lap for our runners. That's absolutely fine because enough time was added to the race timer to allow for such an eventuality. You see, we're just approaching the 2-hour mark. And that's how long this race is scheduled for. Oh, again, Storm getting very, very close to the tail of James there. Not quite at the formation point yet. That is just after the bus stop. So once again, the LMPs getting the heat into their tyres. The GTEs will be doing the same. The darkness is descending. And the rain is coming. You can't see any clouds around at the moment. Well, you can see them beginning to form. Well, Brembo is up on his original time. That's nice. Oh, that's James getting very, very eager to go. But Brembo will resume his pole spot. There he goes. now the 2x2 line will be formed. It's Flicken just falling a little bit off the back. So any moment, Brembo will floor it to signify the beginning of the race. If we look at our GTE brethren, they have done the same. There they are. They are just forming their 2x2 line. This moment where, look at the last from Storm. He's on the second row. He's just keeping his foot ready to deploy the gas. He's very, very keen to get on with it. Brembo is holding, which he's entitled to do, because they have not got out of the acceleration zone yet. We are racing now at Daytona, and Storm is right there. He's already gotten James into second. He's got the inside line. James has really outbraked Storm, but Brembo's gone too deep into the first turn. He's going to be very careful how he comes back on field, and Storm takes the lead of the LMP field. Very nicely done. Brembo now second. James is fighting Brembo, and it looks like Brembo's lost third as well from an excellent pole time. He's already down 2. Murphy is having a go. Oh, I had a big screen freeze there. I don't want any of that. And for some reason, my frame rate's gone through the floor. I don't entirely know why. Apologies for that. If we jump quickly to our GTEs, they're just about to do the same thing. And there goes to Heidi. He's floored it to signify the beginning of the race of the GTE field. Leon in the second Corvette. Oh, he gets a bit of a nudge there from Darwin in the BMW. So both of them trying to go into the same apex. You can see the LMP field just getting around onto turn 7. And so far so good for the GTEs. There's Darwin, third in class, with Warntime directly behind him. On board with Calfee in the second Ford. That's Warntime directly ahead of him. Everybody seems to have gone away cleanly in the GTE field, but jumping up to the LMP, Storm already has a 1.1 second lead over James. Murphy is now third. Brembo is down to 5th. There he is. Terrible, terrible start, but he's gotten a great bit of slipstream out of Tautana. That was an incredible turn of pace. I would imagine Tautana probably had a pretty bad run out of the bus stop area, which left him very, very vulnerable all the way through turn 12. Brembo flew through into 4th. Oh dear, someone's had... It's Oblator. Oblator's had a really bad run through the infield and is now finding himself way off the back of Danger Janetta. 6 seconds separates him and the rest of the GTE field. So something's not gone right for Oblator. James is trying to close Storm back down, and he has managed to do so. Just 6 7 tenths now separates the top 2 of the LMPs. Storm's lost a bit of time somewhere. You can see James is really on the move. James, our current LMP leader. He will want to retain that. Storm second in the championship, so if anyone he wants to beat, it is definitely that man. You can see the exclamation marks throughout the field. That is those that are close to another. Look at that. Brembo stuck in the middle of a sandwich between Murphy and Tautana. He's going to get a great slipstream once again off of Murphy. Has a look on the inside before the bus stop area, but does not manage to take... Oh, it was a road cone in a rather strange position. Tautana, though, look at that. It's gone for the inside line and has flown past Brembo. Brembo has no answer to it. Wow, what a stunning run then out of turns 10 and 11. And already Brembo's attacking Tautana again. He wants to get that 4th position back. And that's James. Beg your pardon, that's Murphy. They're both in black Ligios. Oh my goodness me, that's very, very close between Tautana and Brembo. No impact at that particular point. And they come into turn 1. Ooh, quite safely. Tautana is all over the back of Brembo. That is the view. Well, technically that's the view from Tautana, and he's gone for an outside move around turn 3. I'm not sure that's quite what he was planning for, but Brembo seemed a little hesitant coming off of turn 2. Still side by side, Tautana's just nudged ahead. He's going to have the inside line for 4. Brembo's not letting that one go, no, but Tautana has managed to get the move done, and he can't slow it down, though, and that's going to give the advantage to Brembo again. So they now come through turn 5. Tautana had a good drive out of that corner, though. Now finally slots into 4th position and makes the next turn, turn number 6, quite comfortably. Now the LMP beginning to spread out. What a series of moves then between Brembo and Tautana, and already Tautana's got himself half a second just under. But Brembo, we've seen some incredible drafting from the yellow Ligier. Let's see if he's able to hang on to that. Let's have a look through the field then. Endless has got Popsu and Colonel McCoy for company. Oh, Colonel McCoy look to be going quite deep into the bus stop chicane. There is Nick Meadow. He is pretty close to Colonel McCoy, and Domino's not too far behind either. 1.5 seconds behind. There he is. But finds himself with some breathing space, 4.5. Our new guy, Flicken Flacken, joined qualifying with only about 3.5 minutes left on it. In 11th with 2 Desert Pack right behind him. Let's have a look with our GT field. D. Heidi is stretching his legs out there at the front. Long way to go. It's all well and good starting well, but you have to finish well to make it count. Warm tyre, if we look on board with him, that is the view from the Ford. That's Leon in the Corvette ahead. He's actually lost that second position to Dawu in the M6. Andrex is not far behind, 1.5 seconds or so. There he is, the GTE's second place man, with Calfee for company in the Ford. White Ghost has fallen a little bit away from the front runners at the moment. Our sole Ferrari in the hands of Ticklish Pickle Wickle, or TPW as it's often referred to. There's Dangerous Janetta. Very cautious coming into the bus stop area. And there's Oblator. We saw him have trouble earlier on. I think in the background, yep, there's our race leaders. It's Storm and James. Very close. They are looking to win this, and they want to win it well. And Brembo's actually back up to third. We didn't see this move happen. You could see the amount of time Tautauna's lost on this lap alone. That's what's given Brembo the third place position back. A little bit too far apart for Tautauna to try anything in return. There is Endless, Popsu, Colonel McCoy and Murphy in that particular battle. Murphy's fallen quite a way back. And Tautauna is in already. I'm trying to click on his name, and every time I do, it moves. Oh, goodness me. Well, I can't see any rain, so I don't think the rain's arrived this early. So there's damage on that Ligier. That's going to drop into the tail of the Ligier field. Look at that. On board then with 2 Desert Pack. You can see how many cars are still close. That's Flick and Flocking gone very deep into turn 3. 2 Desert Pack can't do anything with it though, and remains in 11th. Dom not too far ahead of the yellow Ligier as he comes into turn 5, looking to try and close down Nick Meadow. Nick Meadow's actually got himself a penalty on the board. A 5 second. Oh no, that's Calfee, beg your pardon. It's just a 1 second penalty for Nick Meadow. Naughty boy, don't want to be wrecking too many of those up. James is still close to Storm though, at the head of the LMP field. That is what it looks like. Again, a decent amount of drafting going on there. You've just seen the lone Ferrari of TPW going through the shop. So you need to already put a lamp on Oblator and Dangerous Janetta. Tautauna's still in the pits. Goodness me, what a horrifically long pit stop. Can't see any damage on that car, so it's very strange that Tautauna was pitted so early and for so long. Oh, excuse me. He comes out right behind Dawu. There's Dawu then. Is not likely to put up a fight. He's technically entitled to, as it is for position. But realistically, GTE is not going to try and fight an LMP. Oh, look further back though. So that same back then, turn 3 between James and Storm. This is for the lead of the race. Storm just about fending off the black Ligier, but he's still not done. A bit of a twitch there by the TX3 runner. James can have the inside for turn 5. Oh, and he manages to force Storm a little bit wide. That gives the lead over to James. He's not afraid to get his elbows out. Great stuff. That, I think, is White Ghost. No, that's not White Ghost. That's Worn Tire and Darwood we just seen going out the shot. Oh, look at that. Storm getting a great run on the inside of turn 7. And that's going to demote James. But James had a decent drive as well. And manages to retain the lead. He had a stunning effort on the top part of the turn. He's now coming up to the 2 Fords. That's going to be trouble. Now the Fords do not have to get out of the way. The GTEs do not have to jump out of the way of the LMPs. And it's actually preferable that they don't. Oh, but that delay in James trying to get past the first Fords cost him. Storm once again getting on the inside. If this is what they're going to be like all race long, they are one going to be knackered, two my throat's going to be raw. Don't care, I love it. Absolutely love it. And James just fending off. It looks like James has got the top end advantage over Storm, but I would imagine that, oh goodness me, that was one of the Fords flying off the road. That's not going to do them any favours. I would imagine it's here then that Storm's going to struggle. If James has got the top end advantage, you would assume that that is at the sacrifice of cornering efficiency. I want to have a look elsewhere on other battles we've got, but this battle is raging on. James defending the inside line at turn 5 where he earned the lead last time around. Is that Andrex has just gone through the shot? It is indeed. As mentioned before, the GTEs do not have to jump out of the way of the LMPs, and it's advisable they don't so that the LMPs can plan their move. Oh! That was Storm trying to get the cutback on James. Couldn't quite get it done. There was a bit of impact there. If we get... that's the one I was looking for. And look at that! James has just got a great drive. Once again, off the top of turn 7. Now, Storm is going to have to turn a little tighter as he is staying to the bottom of the corner. But not that much. It shouldn't be costing him that much time. So that's a setup difference between the two drivers. And this time Storm is going for the top. Now let's see if he's able to get as much advantage. I wouldn't expect it. And there we go. Look, James yet again powering through. Oh, Pops is in trouble. Pops who just suddenly dropped about 3 or 4 spots. It could be he got caught out by a back marker, which is of course possible. But he suddenly dropped quite a few positions, and that was Darwood that Storm just came past. There's our GTE leaders. But you just saw go out of the shot. There is Heidi and Leon, the 2 Corvettes, running off into the distance. Now Murphy is in the pits then, so he has got himself some damage, I would think. The car looks okay from our side, but of course we just saw him plummet through the field, so it's fair to say that he has got damage on that black Ligier. What a shame to be pitting on only lap 10. Oh, yet again, Storm and James side by side. But that is Leon that they're coming with. Actually, oh, and that's forced James to, Storm to go very deep into turn 6. And of course, we've seen how strong James's car is through these turns, but he could be boxed in behind the GTE, and he is. Oh, impact! Oh no, Storm's in trouble. James is in trouble. Oh my goodness me, Storm is facing the wrong way. He's going to have to get out of the way pretty quickly. He's stuck, he's not moving, he's finally underway. James is going. Oh my goodness me, Storm will be furious at that. What a shame. He was trying to box James in behind the GTE of Leon, I think it was. Nick Meadows got himself... Oh, yes, we saw that penalty earlier, beg your pardon. So James carries on his second. Brembo's now got the lead by 1.5 seconds. What I think Storm's going for, he was trying to use the GTE as a box to try and prevent James coming past him, as there's Domino. That Storm now got to fight his way back to the front. He's lost himself 16 seconds from the lead. Disaster for the TX3 runner. We will see then. It is possible to raise the stewards' inquiry from the final rounds, especially when the championship is at stake. But Storm's got a lot of work to do. He's got a lot of time to do it, admittedly. So, we've only had 15 minutes of this 2-hour race as he squeezes past Domino. Domino didn't really put up much of a fight there. Popsu may not try and block Storm either. Both of them TX3 runners, and indeed he doesn't. Although he's not actually allowing him through. I thought Popsu was actually pulling over to let Storm through. He doesn't have to. That is for position. But there we go. There wasn't too much defense there from Popsu. And Storm then back up into 6th position, but a long, long way to go. He is closing in, though, on the lead, to be fair. The Storm is a man on a mission then. He's going to try and reclaim that lost time. Let's have a look then at some of the other battles going on. Nick Meadow is in a battle with Colonel McCoy, although there is an M6 in the way, as an M6 and a Ford in the way. That would be Darwoo. Darwoo one tyre. Ooh, that's going to get really ugly really quickly if that Ford turns in too early. And thankfully Darwoo did notice that there was an MP bearing down on him. And I beg your pardon, it was one tyre in the Ford. that realised the LMP was there. There's another one. That's Storm. That's making up for lost time. Oh, and you saw Daewoo wanted to actually jump out a little bit earlier than he could do. The Ford trying to make that defence too late. Warntide did not get to the outside early enough to stop the pass from Daewoo. But he's going to have the outside for turn 1. That's Domino right behind them. Popsu is in the pits. I'm doing it again, trying to click on a name as it changes position. And that is Popsu in the pit. That's not a pit box. That's, of course, his marks. He's hit where the game has told him to hit. Storm is still making the way through. He's now already on the back of Nick Meadow. That's 6th position he's challenging for. But he will not be happy about that. Our new guy, Flickenflacken, is still in a battle with 2 Desert Pack, where he's been. Those two have been fighting for that position for quite a while now. And to be fair, he's setting respectable lap times. 1:36, our leader's doing 1:35. So Flickenflacken is getting, you know, respectable lap times. It's always interesting to see where the new guys slot in. So we will see if he's able to maintain that particular pace in. So look at our GTEs then. Our lead pair, our 2 Corvettes running off into the distance. That is Heidi and Leon, the second one. As you can see, that's Colonel McCoy, I believe. That is catching to the back of them. Ooh, that's a little bit... Is that Colonel McCoy? Where is Colonel McCoy? It is indeed. So Colonel McCoy now going to fly around the top side of turn 12. So the 2 Corvettes setting very similar speeds. Of course, Heidi has been the lead Corvette all season long. There's won all but 1 round in this season, but look at that, Leon getting a great slipstream off of the fellow Corvette and doesn't quite manage to get alongside Heidi, but is keeping Heidi very true in this particular race. Another pair of LMPs coming up behind. That is Nick Meadow and Storm. Oh, goodness me. Storm doing his best to try and get past Nick Meadow before he gets to the Corvette, so he doesn't manage to do it. Now he's boxed in behind the Corvette. It's exactly the move he tried to do with James earlier on. And what is Storm? Is he going to fly on the inside? He does indeed, but he's going to go on the grass. He's going to hit Nick Meadow. Oh no! And sadly, through no fault of his own, Leon was caught up in that. That is huge. Storm is going to be very heavily damaged. That is going to be a huge impact on the championship, unless, of course, James has his own particular problem out there in the front. He is going to be the LMP champion, but, like I said before, rain is coming. It's all well and good being good now. Let us see how they do when the rain comes. As Storm gets past 2 Desert Pack, but 2 Desert Pack fights back, which he's perfectly entitled to do. That is for position. And of course, Storm, as we've just seen, has taken a fair old whack in the side of his car. So he's probably going to be suffering quite a bit at the moment. Oh, but he gets a good run on the exit of the bus stop. But can he hold it, though? It's Flickenflacken getting alongside 2 Desert Pack. That is for 8th position. And again, look at... Oh, that was... looked like it could have been quite nasty, but no impact on that occasion. They're coming up to... Oh, my goodness me. That's Leon, I think. There's 1, there's 2, and there's another one in there somewhere. The LMPs fly past. Now, Leon's actually decided to slow down to allow the LMPs through. He's not obliged to do that. And you can see the damage on the front of Leon's car as a result of that impact earlier on. Totally wasn't Leon's fault. It was just an innocent bystander there. But that is going to affect his race. You can see Heidi has run off. He's got himself 5.5 seconds on his fellow Corvette as a result of that impact. Let's have a look at the rest of our GTEs. There's Warntide with Daewoo in very, very short succession. They have been fighting for that final podium position for quite a while now, before just fending off the M6. Daewoo was in that 3rd position earlier on, so he is keeping the pressure on. Andrex is 5 seconds behind Daewoo, and keeping it, basically minding his own business back there. White Ghost in 6th position in the white Ford. He's got Calfee for company in the yellow Ford. They have been in short succession for a while now. Our sole Ferrari is Ticklish Pickle Wickle. It's good to see TPW returning to league racing. Oh, a little bit deep into turn 6, but not too bad. He's on his own, 8.5 seconds behind Calfee, 2.5 seconds ahead of this man Oblator, who had a big spin early on and hasn't really been able to regain. Well, he's regained his own pace, to be fair. And DG has really struggled in this particular race. It's a long way off the pace at the moment, but continues on nonetheless. And Leon, I'm not surprised to find the Corvette has come in. He's going to get that damage patched up, but I guess it's better to get it patched up early. We have over 1.5 hours remaining. And again, as mentioned before, the rain is coming. And they all know it. Domino has got his wing mirrors full of Nick Meadow. And 2.5 seconds back is Storm as well. So let's ride on board then with the chasing LMP of Nick Meadow. Wow, just spotted the lap time, 1:34.6 by Brembo. Or not only is Brembo actually... Looks like the race speed box doesn't work again. Not that I was looking at it, I just looked down and it says fast as that 1:32.8. Well, no it isn't. Unfortunately. That's unfortunately something for qualifying. Oh, Nick's had a good run through the bus stop. Domino's defending for everything he's got. And he's managed to keep Nick Meadow behind him at the moment. But can't do anything under slipstream. We saw that's where James was strong, and James now getting into the 134s without 134.9. And these two continuing along their merry way, coming into turn 1. Oh, Nick getting very, very close under the rear wing of Domino. Storm is gaining on them. If you jump on board with Storm, he's got his eyes on the prize for the next 2 positions. Because he hasn't opted to come in and fix the damages on his car. Nick getting on the outside or trying to make himself very, very obvious in Domino's mirrors. I'm not sure he has to particularly. I'm pretty sure Domino is well aware that he's there. Close once again in the braking zone of turn 5. No, we can't see the mirrors from our cockpit camera, unfortunately. So we can't tell what Domino can see there. Now Storm has got the mark on him. He's already 3/10 behind this particular battle. When I say the mark, I mean the exclamation mark next to their name to indicate that they are in a battle. Break him off of turn 7 into the bus stop once again. Storm has been mighty on the brakes. Again, he's getting right under the rear wing. He's wants a good run out of here. Which he does get. Oh, we're going to see 3 wide. Oh my goodness me. Yes, we are. 3 wide through turn 12. Can Storm do anything with it? No, he backs out of that quite wise. He's already had enough incidents this race. Nick Meadow's a little bit stuck out there. He can't come in because there's a wild TX3 Storm on his inside. There's a Storm now goes to the bottom for the remainder of the turn, and Nick Meadow couldn't get back ahead of him, and that is 6th position back to Storm. He's already trying to get on the inside of Domino at turn 1. My goodness me, he is on fire. He's that was a 1:34.4 from Storm that time around. Oh, a little bit deep again. Impact by TX3 Storm on Domino this time. Dom trying to defend his position into turn 3. And they continue on their merry way. Goodness me. And there he goes over an outside move this time. At turn 5, but he's got Oblator right there. Oh, it's either Oblator or Danger Janetta. It was DG. He opted to jump out of the way. He didn't have to, but you can't really blame him considering how quickly they were bearing down on him. Look at the time that Storm has lost against the lead. He's now 30 seconds down. As they continue to press on, can Storm break away from Domino? Nick Meadow is still in there. Domino now having a look on the inside before they get to the bus stop. Is he going to hold on to it? Oh, TX3 just manages to shut the door on the pink and black Ligier. You can see that the skies aren't just darkening because of the sundown. There's a lot of clouds in the air. And Storm now started to get the gap that he's looking for. And we're still seeing those 34s popping up at the top end of the field as well. Oh, look at that! Domino really torn back in, no doubt due to the damage on the TX3 runner's car. Couldn't quite get back ahead of him, and that is a Leon. He is down in 9th in class. I mentioned before, whilst he will have the blue flag waved at him, he does not have to jump out of the way unless it is for a GTE car. The LMPs, he just has to race his own line, and the LMPs have to figure it out for themselves. They of course have much greater speed and traction, so therefore if they plan their move early enough, they can get through without too much concern, without losing too much time. Storm flew past the stricken Corvette, and Nick Meadow and Domino did the same. Look down, further down the field, Flickenflaken and 2 Desert Parrots still in that particular battle. Flickenflaken has managed to get ahead. So very similar lap times, a couple of tenths in 2 Desert Parrots' favour last time around. Popsu, after his early pit stop, is getting into the 135s. He's got 27 seconds to gauge in the next car though, so he's going to be very lonely for some time. Murphy is actually behind him, so Murphy's right. Whoops, he got caught out a little bit there by the Ford. That Ford is it's either white ghost or worn tyre. It's worn tyre. Again, he does not have to jump out of the way. He's not actively allowed to block anyone, as indeed the GTEs are not allowed to intentionally block any of the LMPs, but they do not have to jump out of the way. Dawu trying his best to hang on to the back of that Ford, but does look like Worn Tyre's got the pace over the M6 at the moment. Long way to go though. Nick Meadow and Domino still in their battle for 6th position. In a way I'm a little bit relieved, because last time I commentated on Daytona, everybody got spread out before the halfway stage, and it made for a very tricky race to commentate on. There was just nothing really going on there, side by side. Coming down into turn 6, and Domino has got the inside line. Nick's gone very deep. He's going to try and get a decent drive on the exit of the corner, but he's lost the position. On board again with Nick Meadow in the slipstream. Jumps to the outside but can't hold it. Domino's got a lovely car for riding the bottom part of the turn. Heading into the bus stop once again. Fairly comfortably. And Nick Meadows had a good run as well. You can see how much time that they lose compared to their best when they're battling. Brembo on 34.6. Stunning lap for our current race leader. Clear that because it's not telling me anything. James 134.8, so he's lost another couple of tenths. 2.5 seconds separates the top two. And then there's another 16 seconds between James and Endless for the final podium position. It wouldn't be at all surprised though if there's a few words said about the incident involving James and Endless, James and Storm, I beg your pardon, wrong TS3 drivers. Nick Meadows gone for an outside move at turn 3. Can't hold on to it though, well defended by Domino, but now Nick Meadows going to have the inside, but he can't do it. Domino just managing to get that door shut before they get through turn 4. Very nicely done, nice and clean. This is not what you want as an endurance racer. You want to have the, I don't say dull race, but you do not want to be under this much pressure for so long. And Domino's handling it pretty well as we go through the quarter point in this race. 25% done. And still battling going on. Coming down the field. I do get that weird bouncing effect from time to time. Nick Meadow hasn't developed a very spongy suspension. That is just how it looks from my perspective, and that I think is obligatory. It is indeed. His Black Ford staying well out of the way of Nick Meadow and Storm. Oh, hello. Sorry, Nick Meadow and Domino. Storm, I just saw he got the exclamation mark on it, which means he's closing in on Gunnar McCoy. There they are. Just shy of 2 seconds between the two. Let's see what the lap times were. Storm still getting 134s. 35.0 last time around. 34.4 this time from Brembo. Stunning effort out the front there. That's an ugly looking DJ. Either Colonel McCoy... yeah, Colonel McCoy's hit something. I was going to say, he can't be running without lights. That's not allowed us. Flick of Larkin has chosen to come in. That could be planned. We haven't been aware of any incident involving him. A fair effort for his first race in this league. He happens to be the finale, but fair play to you, sir. Oh, wow. Storm didn't take no for an answer there. Again. Once again, he's getting his elbows out. Oh, no. Colonel McCoy went for the inside line. Storm turned in. And impact again for TX3 Storm. He must be getting pretty fed up in that car at the moment. He's clouted quite a few of the LMPs. Oh dear, oh dear. Again, no obvious sign of damage, but that is not going to help. That's lost him quite a fair chunk of time. Colonel McCoy has continued, of course. Storm will reel him in again, but after how long? There's one of the yellow Fords. That's Colonel McCoy easily traverses. Oh, it was Nick Meadow taking a while to jump out from behind the white Ford. I do believe that is... oh, Andrax is closing into Dawu, actually. Dawu's had problems somewhere. The M6s were quite a way apart. Is that, I think, is that Storm coming through? Nope, that must be Endless then. Is indeed our third place man just going past Andrax, who's fourth in class. Oh, he just got a bit caught out there by Dawu. Andrew. I've now called him Andrew. I'm sure he's been called worse. As they come into turn 6, he's gaining on his fellow M6. Dawu's got just shy of 10 seconds between himself and the Ford of Worn Tyre. Currently second in class. Domino still on the back of Nick... oh no, Domino's on the back of Nick Meadow now. So those two have swapped positions. Can Domino do something about it, or will Nick Meadow be able to sprint off into the distance? Domino finally succumbing to the pressure that Nick Meadow has been piling on his shoulders. Can he get back into the rhythm? He's staying right with Nick Meadow. Lovely amount of slipstream off of turn 7. That is Calfee, I believe, they're coming up to. Yes, it is. Nick Meadow's got past it. Oh, stay still, Calfee, stay still. And he does indeed. Domino's going to get a decent amount of slipstream. Oh my goodness me. A decent amount of slipstream indeed. He's flown past Nick Meadow. Oh no, saying that. Oh yes, he has. Beg your pardon. I thought for a second he hadn't managed to get the pass done, but what a stunning slipstream that Domino suddenly found. And he's blasted back into 6th position. But Nick Meadow, of course, is not one to give up on that one. Domino is continuing to keep himself in check. And then look at that! Look at the M6s. Dawu lost 10 seconds last time around. I did say he had trouble. That's the view from Andrax's perspective. Can't see the obvious damage on Dawu's car. It's going to be interesting to see, because Dawu's had incredible pace in that M6. We'll see if Andrax is able to keep up with him. There goes Colonel McCoy. Coming past, he's in 4th. And that's a heavily damaged... well, it appears heavily damaged. He still seems to be setting fairly decent pace. Nick Meadow still on the tail of Domino. We've looked mainly at the midfield area. That's mainly because our leader has legged it. Let's have a check-in where everybody is. It's something I periodically do throughout our endurance races, although just as I was about to do that, Domino's suddenly had a really good run through the bus stop. He's gone into the slipstream. And look at that. This is what we saw from James earlier, where Domino's powering off and keeping that gap between the two LMPs. I think that's Dangerous Janetta's Black Janetta getting out of the way. really, it's a shame for DG. He's quite a long way off the pace. And look at that, Nick Meadow trying to do something with Domino coming into turn 1. Not quite close enough for that. Into turn 3. There's a look on the outside, but doesn't make a move. He's trying to get a decent drive out of that turn, but Domino beats him to it. He's got up it. That's our two M6s. That's Andrex and Dawu. Andrex is actually ahead. Andrex is the lead M6 now. And Storm is back on the tail of Kerner McCoy. So whilst Nick Meadow is battling Domino for 6th, Storm is back in striking range of Kerner McCoy. About a second separates them. Only 3/10 separates these two. Nick Meadow getting a bit of draft off of the tail M6, which is Dawu. And the M6 is staying out of the way of the LMPs. The bus stop once again. Oh, again, Nick Meadow does look like he gets that little bit better drive out of the corners, but there goes Domino again. Starting to pull away from Nick Meadow. Even though there's a long way... Oh, Brembo's actually got himself a penalty. It's a 2-second penalty for our race leader. Nick Meadow, 2 Desert Perk, and 10 seconds for Flickenflaken. Oh dear, that's speeding the paint lane, I believe that one is. And 5 seconds for Calfee, which he did get at the beginning of the race, which he may or may not contest. Well, if he was more than 5 seconds away from someone, there's no point in contesting it, but we'll see when the race ends whether that is the case for him. What a shame for Flickenflaken. He's been having a great debut as DG actually comes in the black Ford. No obvious damage on his car. No sign of the rain yet either, and Storm is now right with Kerner McCoy again. Side by side, this is where it all went wrong for these two a few laps ago in turn 6. And Storm can't get the move done. As yet, let's check up with these two. No, they're not in a passing position just yet. Storm wants to get past. For the more time he's fighting, it's the more time he's losing against Brembo and James. Of course, James is his target for the championship. Oh dear, that's gone horribly wrong for Kerner McCoy. He's jumped over the apex of turn 9. That surely is going to be job done for Storm, but no, it does look like Flickenflaken's in the pits again. Oh dear. Trouble then for the yellow Ligier. DG's been in the pits a very, very long time. And Storm is in. Storm has decided to pull in this time. Along with Nick Meadow. Interesting, quite a few people coming in at a similar time. That's DG finally underway. Let's check in with everybody. Let's see where everybody is. Brembo, our race leader, has been in the lead for quite a while now. Working his way. That's the lead of the GTEs. 2 Desert Packers also come in. There he is in the orange Ligier, and that's Kofi. Or Calfee, however you pronounce it. That's coming as well. Oh, Leon's getting... he's catching up to Oblator. So he now has work to do in that reshaped Corvette. And again, a lot of people coming in. That was interesting. And Brembo also, race leader, has chosen to come in. I'm not seeing any sign of rain. So I don't think. It seems to be similar strategy calls going on. And James came in as well. So both our front runners came in at the same time. Is Endless going to come in? He does. Endless. Our top 3 LMPs all came in at the same time. Downtown has caught the back of Murphy as well. So the times do get a little shuffled up. As you can see here, the times aren't reading correctly whilst people are in the pits. James. Oh, is he jumped Brembo? Brembo's having a very long stop. Kerner McCoy's in as well. James is deciding to have a very short, or shorter at least, stop. And that's going to grant him the overall lead. Domino's gone past, but Domino, of course, has not been in yet. James is going to come out in 2nd position, but he crucially has jumped Brembo. McCoy having a fairly long stop. He was in slightly later. Brembo now underway. Endless is not moved either. So a long stop for him. Brembo's going to be quite a way back from James when he finally comes out. Domino leads. Just as I was going to start checking on where everybody was, then all the pit stops happened. He leads them by just under 9 seconds from James. He's with a fresh set of boots on. And a Ford just ahead of him. Is Calfee, I believe? Yes, it is. Brembo has led the vast majority of this race now, finds himself 27 seconds down from the lead. And that's the rain. That's why people are coming in. You can't really see it from this angle, but we just saw the lightning clamp go off. And there it is. That's why all the pit stops are happening. The rain has arrived. It is thunderstorm. Oh, and you saw how deep Brembo went there. That's going to be a lot of rain, a lot of standing water, and a lot of spray. So there's going to be a fair amount of fighting of the cars going on. Storm now coming out. He's now down in 10th position. So his race isn't getting much better. Popsu is coming out again. White Ghost has now... Whoa, big old wheel spin for him. Oblator is on his blocks as well. Domino has come in, so he opted to leave it a lap later. We'll see if that's going to pay off for him. James, of course, flying past to take the race lead. Windscreen wipers now going, and they're going to be going absolutely crazy as the rain falls. As you can see, it is wet and it is dark. Although Daytona is very, very well lit, so time of day is not going to make too much of a difference. Brembo goes up to second. Towner is right with Murphy then. They now come up to third and fourth position respectively. A little bit deep into turn one for Murphy, but does manage to keep it on the black stuff. Dom is still in the pits. Endless has now come through. He's now elevated to fifth position. That's a long, long stop for Domino. He's now underway. Nick Meadow has come through, and that's going to open a big gap between himself and Domino, who's been fighting with for so long. So I'm not sure it's really paid off for Dom, but we'll see. Long way to go yet. Still well over half the race to do. We'll see how that turns out. Let's have a look at Towner then. Oh dear, that's one of the M6s. That could be Dawu. It is Dawu. That is right in front of them. Oh no! Murphy has clouted the back of one of the white Fords. Is that White Ghost? It is! Massive damage to the GTE of White Ghost. Oh no! He's lost a wheel! Murphy's lost a wheel! That's what the sparking is! Oh no! Get onto the apron, Murphy. Get out of the way. He's a long, long way from the pits. Massive, massive damage to Murphy's car. His race is done. What a terrible way for his race to end. He is going to be struggling with that car for such a long time. He's coming up to the... He's at least done the infield. He shouldn't really be there. He needs to get out of everybody's way. Towner comes into the pits, along with a worn tyre, Andrex, DeHeidi, Dawu, Ticklish Pickle Wickle. They've all come in, and I'm not surprised Murphy's just straight lined the bus stop. Not going to make a great deal of difference to him, I'd have thought. But he presses on. He has not retired. The other black Ligier leads the race. James. This is crucial for him to capitalise on the terrible time Storm's had. Storm's back down in 9th. Oh, and that's one of the black forces at Dangerous Janetta. It is. And this is what I wonder what would happen is, even though they're on wet tyres, Thunderstorm gives such slippery driving conditions. And of course, they're in it for over half the race. So this is what's going to happen. The best laps have been set. Leon's quite close to DeHeidi. So the two Corvettes are locked in battle again. Look at the spray coming off of the back of DeHeidi then. So Leon's, assuming Leon's been through the pits and he's keeping his car on the road, so he must be on the right tyres. That strategy has started to pay off for him. He's now on DeHeidi's case for the GTE lead. Oh, that, of course, from our perspective, the white Ford does get instantly fixed, but he's going to be in there a long time. Worn tyre is in a battle with... Oh, that looks a little precarious there for worn tyre, but Darwin is very slow. He's either letting cars pass or he's had a massive problem of some kind. There's no obvious damage on that M6 unless he hasn't been in and he's on the wrong tyres. Or he has been in and he's come out with the wrong tyres. Because again, there's Andrex just going to blast past him. Big problem then for Darwin. No problem though for Leon. Let's see, 242 for De Heidi last time around. So either that was De Heidi's pit stop, or De Heidi has had a big incident that we haven't seen. Nick Meadow, Murphy and Towner are all in the pits. I think though that they are now going to get back into their rhythms. Though Leon is really closing in on De Heidi. Oh no, that's the timing. The timing goes a little bit wrong as they come past the finish line for some reason. That's De Heidi actually had the mark on it because he was getting close to Murphy, but they continue on their way. Is Darwin getting back into a stride, I wonder? You can see he's lost 33 seconds from his last lap. The lap times are going to be absolutely everywhere now. It is going to be down to consistency. Who can best handle these very slippery conditions? And Darwin's coming in. So either he got the wrong tyres or he's had a major problem that we simply can't see. And another pit stop, and another pit stop for James. That's interesting. Oh, okay. That was Dawu then getting out of James's ghost, and on he goes. And so another stop for James. Brembo resumes the lead of the race. Which yellow one is he? The other one's Flick and Flarkin. Flick and Flarkin did have to get out of the way. He was under blue flag conditions for the now race leader. Look how slippery turn 3 is. How slowly, how carefully they've got to come through that one. It's not good if you're trying to go side by side with someone. James already straight back out. So that was a very quick stop for the Black Ligier. But he's going to be a long way down from Brembo. Brembo is actually through turn 5 before James actually gets through turn 3. There you go, 20 seconds separates the two. And Endless is right with James now. 2.5 seconds separates second and third. So Brembo is back in the driving seat, so to speak. No one particularly close to anybody else position-wise, but a fair amount of jostling for track space. We have lost one of our GTEs, and I wouldn't be at all surprised. Oh no, White Ghost is still in it. Trying to work out who it is we've lost, and I have a terrible memory. And Leon again is in the pits. As Brembo gets himself a penalty. 2 seconds for him, 11 for Nick Meadow, 10 for Flick and Flarkin, 2 for Deserpack. 2 Deserpack rather, 5 for Calfee, and 10 for Oblaton. Another pit stop for Leon, which awards second place to Worn Tyre in his Ford. Very carefully. There's Ticklish Picklewickle in the Ferrari. He's doing alright in his maiden race, although he's got a lot of damage on the front of that Ferrari. He's going to have to get out of the way of the Ford, which he does. Storm on the back of Domino. Just seen that mark come up. Oh, Daru, yes, we did lose you. Oh, goodness me. Yes, we saw you were struggling with your M6. What happened to you, sir? I did wonder whether you were having pit crew trouble, as you did seem to be struggling to keep the car on the road. Oh, look at that. Storm is absolutely going to blitz past Domino. But again, looks like Domino is able to start deploying that extra speed, extra straight line speed he seems to have in the black and pink Ligier against the TX3 veteran. The lap deltas are going to be fairly inconsequential now. And Domino could not slow it down for turn 1. Again, turns that they have taken so easily before are going to be very tricky now. We can't really see it particularly well from this camera, but there will be standing water out there that we'll have to deal with as well. So let's have a check-in with where everybody is. Brembo, our race leader. I think that's Warntime who's coming past. Yes, it is. Warntime is second in the GTE field. Brembo leads by over 18 seconds. James has had a bad lap last time around, but we did see him have that very quick pit stop, so that will be where he lost this time. He leads Endless by about 4 seconds. There is the TX3 runner. Endless was right with James a few laps ago, but a 43.5, goodness me. James has gained half a second on Brembo and opened up 1.5 over Endless. But it's going to be about consistency, not single lap pace. Storm was actually set at 142 last time around as well. There is Conor McCoy in the 4th position. 16 seconds down from Endless and about 13 or so down from Storm, but Storm is absolutely charging. What is Storm's lap this time around? Let's just follow him through. And it is a 43.9, so he gains 0.6 on Conor McCoy this time around. Seems to really have the setup right for the wet conditions. There is Domino with the yellow Ford. I think Kauf is the only yellow Ford remaining. Calvin getting out of his way. Whoop, wrong one. Oh, Dom's gone deep into 3, but manages to keep it on the road. Popsy. Looks like he might actually be closing in. Oh, he closed in actually 2.5 seconds on Domino last time around. 44.5 from Popsy then. A lovely lap in these conditions. Big Mido having a great battle with Domino for quite a while, but has lost a lot of time against his former sparring partner, about 25 seconds give or take. 17 seconds behind Popsy now. Flicken Flarkin, new guy. That's quite a baptism of fire coming into a 2-hour race at Daytona in the wet, in a thunderstorm no less, so I admire the fact that he decided to give it a go. 2 Desert Pack also trying his hand at endurance racing. Really struggling in the wet conditions. It's can't blame him either. Towner next in line, 45 seconds down from 2 Desert Pack. His race has gone from bad to disastrous as well. Although he is getting back into pace. Oh, that's White Ghost that's gotten all out of shape. And unfortunately that took Towner with him. There goes the Ligier on the bottom side of the turn, and Murphy at the back of the LMP field has had quite a few arguments with a few cars already, sadly, and he finds himself a long way off the back of the LMP field. Leading the GTEs once again is a Heidi in that mighty Corvette. He is pretty unstoppable, and the Calfee is in. Another problem for the yellow Ford. One tyre in second. He's running pretty similar pace to De Heidi, but finds himself 22 seconds behind him. Oops. Yeah, we're going to see a few of that. We're going to see quite a lot of that, I imagine. Andrex, pretty bad lap last time around in the F6. Finds himself 13 seconds down from one tyre. Third in class. Continues on his way. Leon, 20 seconds behind Andrex, but a long way ahead of Calfee. And Calfee having another pit stop. Comes out in 5th position. It is very much in no man's land position-wise. As that's Murphy, I think, that's just gone through it. Nope, that'll be James then. It's just gone past him. Just a 10th difference between the top 2 LMPs. Oblador in the black Ford. It's only 6 seconds actually. He's, because of Calfee's pit stop, he's now less than that. Now 5.5 seconds between himself and the next car in line. Tigris Picklewickle has ventured on in the Soul Ferrari. Not sure what it was he rearranged his car on earlier on. but he's carried that damage for quite a while. And White Ghost, we saw having a big old argument with one of the LMPs earlier on. We've lost another GTE. Who did we just lose? It'll come to me. It won't come to me. I'm looking. I know one of them's gone. I'm afraid I don't know which it is. Dangerous Janata. We lost him. Oh dear. DG had been struggling all race long to keep up with the pace, sadly. He decided to call it a day. Another way I'm sure he, or indeed Derby, would have wanted to end their season in the Endurance League, but that is the way it goes sometimes. As White Ghost has got, that's Nick Meadow coming up behind him. 42.9, new fastest lap in the wet at least for James. Of course, it's gonna, the conditions will deteriorate to a point. They will pretty much stabilise. James is able to get into a rhythm in the wet. Oh, again, yeah, that's White Ghost, you see, getting very, very deep. I think that's Flicken Flarkin as well. Oh no, it was Brembo, beg your pardon. It was the white, yellow. I've not even got my colours right, goodness me. The yellow LMP just going through the shot. See it comes past White Ghost. James is in that shot somewhere. There he is. There is Flicken Flarkin. Just coming past one of the Corvettes. Is that Heidi? It is indeed. James catching up with the pair of them as well. And easily gets past the Corvette. Oh, Popsu! He's catching up with Domino. Domino is not having a good time in the wet weather conditions. He was having a fairly decent race in 6th position, or fighting for 5th with Nick Meadow earlier on, but in the wet, it's all gone wrong. The black and pink Ligier. Again, look at the lap times. Popsu to Domino. Popsu gained 4 seconds on the black and pink Ligier, and again, look at that. Just goes too deep into 6. Can't slow down. Ends up taking Ticklish Pickle Wiggle with him, and an easy pass then for Popsu. Up into 6th position. 15 seconds to Storm. Storm is still on a charge though. 43.3 last time around. That's leader's pace. He wants to close in. Yeah, well, he does and he doesn't, I'm sure, want to close in on Colonel McCoy, who he's already crossed swords with, figuratively and physically. 7 seconds down the road though, so he's got some closing in to do, but gained nearly 2 seconds last time around, so there's going to be a few laps before he gets him. And yet again, just shy of 2 seconds in Storm's favour. 43.2. 43.2 was also James's last lap. 43.6 from Brembo. He may have a decent lead at the moment. Oh, goodness me. That's Oblator, this sole black Ford now. Getting out of the way. And of course, Popsu has... Oh, goodness me, Domino is really, really struggling. Is that Endless has just come through? No, that must be Storm? It is indeed Storm, I think, has just gone past Dom. Where is Dom? Yeah, I do believe it was. Oh no, Storm's actually on the back. Oh, it'll be Popsu. No, it won't be Popsu. No, I'm not sure which of the LMPs it was that's just gone past Dom, but it is getting... Dom is struggling. Dom is really, really struggling. Unless, of course, he's had a similar pit stop problem to what Derby suffered earlier on. We will see, we will see. I'm going to see. Now, Doc earlier on did offer to jump into the pit box, into the con box with me. And I'm going to take him up on that offer whilst we have the field spread out to this degree. I'm going to jump into the commentary box and see if he is available for a chat with me. Just to add a bit more perspective to this. Just sending him a message, seeing what he wants to do as we see Dom fly past one of the M6s. It's either Andrex. That must be Andrex. We lost the other one earlier on. Of course, that was Darby. And there is Doc.
Hello, Mr. Kodiak.
Hello. How are you feeling? You feeling any better?
No, not really. Just struggling, having a bit of tea, trying to keep myself down.
Fair enough. Well, I appreciate the fact that you offered and to sit in the box with me at the moment. Have you been keeping up with the action so far?
Recently, no. I went actually some dinner.
Okay. Nice. Well, at the moment the field has kind of spread out, so I thought I'd use this opportunity to grab hold of you and take advantage of your knowledge of course, endurance racing. You've been a big advocate of it. You're a good, decent front runner in the LMP field leading up to this point. It's a shame that your season ends in a did not participate, but yes, that's the way it happens sometimes. So, what sort of setup would you run in your beautiful black and pink Ligier?
Especially for this race, Daytona, starting out dry, leaving with rain, especially thunderstorm. Downforce could help, but with the Ligier itself, downforce kind of helps from just running 0-0. You still have quite a bit of downforce. I was looking at setup work when I was doing here, and I was actually running 0-0 for the dry and the wet, and it seemed quite stable. So it really depends on what people want to go for. They want to risk that, possibly losing it in the bus stop in turn 1, or that straight line speed through the oval pot.
So if you're running 0-0, how much of a drag effect do you get? Sorry, a bump draft effect do you receive if you're behind someone?
It really depends on what the driver in front is running. Say if they're running 1-1 or 1-4, as soon as you get in that slipstream, you'll pull up to them. You'll have maybe an extra 2 to 3 miles per hour, which doesn't seem a lot, but especially with these long straights, you'll get to that speed a lot faster. You'll pull right up and you'll buy them, and they can't really answer back.
I see. We're just seeing Storm, who has crossed swords with a few people already this evening. He's actually caught back up to Colonel McCoy, and we'll see if he's able to make the pass and make it stick this time. So, speaking of Storm, he's had a few incidents tonight that's caused him to kind of spin off. How easy is it, or how difficult is it, as a driver, if you're involved in an incident and you lose a fair amount of time? How easy is it to kind of reset and think, right, come on, long way to go, settle down, or is that sort of thing still kind of pestering you in your mind?
Especially these sort of races, these 2-hour races where it is endurance, yes, but you haven't got that full, let's say, safe barrier of, say, a 12-hour, 6-hour, 24-hour race. It does kind of linger for quite a while. Normally an endurance race, say the 6-hour one, within the next hour you'll get back into your rhythm. But with this being, you'll have to get back into your rhythm there and there, and if that still lingers over you, you are not going to get back up to speed properly, especially if you've took damage. With only 2 pit stops for a race like this, it really does linger.
I see. Well, just whilst you were explaining that, Storm did actually manage to make a pretty clean pass on Colonel McCoy. Colonel McCoy still carrying visually a fair amount of damage on his orange Ligier. I think that's White Ghost that was going for an excursion there on turn 6. One thing I wanted to ask you, Doc, is that Ligiers come in 3 flavours, 3 engine flavours. I believe everyone has primarily used the Nissan engine. There are a couple of Hondas out there, the low groundy engines. Do the engines make a massive difference?
It really depends. For this calendar alone, the reason why myself at the Nissan and Domino was this calendar alone has a lot of straight line speed, not much downforce, heavy track, except for maybe Red Bull, which is primarily downforce. The Nissan engine does have that straight line speed over the Honda. The Honda has better acceleration, but the other engine, I forgot what it's called now. I think maybe, I can't remember. The other engine just overall not as.
So it really is only a competition of 2.
Yes, out of the leash years.
I see. Right. Can't think of anything else to ask at the moment, so I'll let you return to your rest and recovery. Thank you for spending the time and hopping in the box dock. Feel free to stay there and add anything you think of if you so choose to. Oh, Storm! Oh, he touched the grass and he lost it! Oh, my goodness me! Completely unforced error by the TX3 veteran there. Just tapped the grass, and in the wet conditions it's even worse to do. You can sometimes get away with it in the dry, but he just barely even half a wheel on the grass, and round he went. He is going to be now he's only got himself to be livid with. Not good at all, but he's pressing on nonetheless. He's now got to get past Conor McCoy again, and he's got that lost him nearly 6 seconds as well. Or did lose him 6 seconds over Conor McCoy, so that is not going to help his race in the slightest. 20 drivers remaining with us, 12 LMPs and 8 GTEs. We've lost 2 GTEs from the field. Since the race began, we are over halfway, 53 minutes remaining. And Brembo's had a bit of a slower lap this time, 45.0. It's his lap last time around, but he still has over 16 seconds lead over our LMP leader James. Or LMP, and Brembo's lost it. Brembo's now lost it at turn 6. Now this is going to almost certainly be attributed to the slipperier conditions that we're seeing. We're not seeing the 42s come onto the lap boards either. James is no doubt going to be away. He will be keeping an eye on the gap between himself and his competitors. You can see actually on the infield, you can see where there's standing water. Now of course when the cars go through the water they do try and clear it, but from the spectator's camera, as I've mentioned before, you can't see the standing water particularly clearly. It's not going to be so much of a problem on the banking, as of course the water will drain downwards, but where that incident happened, turn 6, he hadn't hit the banking yet. So that's another handful of time, or big, say 4 to 5 seconds, that Brembo lost as a result of that spin. So he may be in the lead by a way, but do not assume that that is the race done. That is exactly what these slippery conditions are going to cause. We're going to see a lot of that, and there you go, 47.7 for Brembo, and we'll see what James is able to set, as that's Oblator in the black Ford. James across the line now, and he sets himself a 42.8. There's me saying we're not seeing the 42s anymore, and there was one. So he capitalised brilliantly on Brembo's mistake, and he's got very deep into turn 1. That could be a bit of choice. There may be some stand water on the inside of turn 1 that we can't see particularly clearly, but odds are he's gone a little bit deep into the first turn. As he continues to make his way through the GTE field. Having a look through the GTE times, the closest one I can see, and Flicken Flarkins in the pits yet again. Now that is a little surprising. And that, I think, is DG's black Ford, as Oblator, the other one, is still running. We will keep seeing that black Ford remain in the pits for the rest of the race, sadly. We lost Dangerous Janetta a while ago. And it looks like James has been caught out, because he's suddenly, the gap's now back up to 15.5 seconds. So whether he got caught out behind, that I think is Warm Tyres Ford. Yes, it is. He is still second in class, and 25 seconds Dehaidi leads the GTE field. Wow, we saw Leon really pushing Dehaidi earlier on, but Dehaidi really has found his rhythm and is set to run away with this one. There is Brembo with Domino directly behind him. I think it's fair to say that Brembo is going to have a pretty decent lap this time around, a 43.8. Not too bad, but James has lost a fair old amount of time this time around. Oh, Andrax is... Oh dear! Andrax has had a spin also at turn 6. Leon's gone past him. And that's Ticklish Brickleworker we can hear in the Ferrari. So the conditions catching out the M6 veteran as well. This is what we're going to have to see. We're going to have to keep an eye on is where people... And there, I've just seen the gap between first and second drop again. So I think Brembo may have had another problem. He hasn't come up. It seems to be turn 6 is where most of the spins seem to be happening. Brembo gets through it fairly comfortably that time around. Dom, not too bad. You see, last time around James was at 44.4, so he lost a good 6/10 from the time he gained previously. Keeps it nice and comfortable that time. Of course, the times will go up and down as they enter and leave their respective braking zones. I was a little surprised to see Hendricks making that mistake, but that just goes to show that no one is immune to it. There you go, 2:12. That's how much time Hendricks lost, 15 odd seconds he lost as a result of the spin. On board with the GT3 Elite driver, who also runs the M6 in that particular league. You could see how carefully, he's not even taking turn 4 flat, which normally is a very fire and forget kind of turn. Ever so gently coming into turn 5. You see there on ahead, that's what 2 seconds looks like to these GTEs. And there goes, I'd imagine that is Storm, that has just gone past him. Oh, no, it was Towner, I beg your pardon. Oh, interesting. Towner actually had the exclamation mark next to his name, but Nick Meadows a minute down the road, so that was a little bit incorrect there. I've got the wrong TX3 driver there. Apologies for that. Let's see where Andrex is. Where is he? There he is. So, doing his best to try and reel that Corvette back in. Oh, TBW was very, very close to slamming into the back of Andrex. Now, he opted not to straight line the bus stop there. He chose to try and return to the track. He really had overcooked the braking zone into turn 8, and he was rather lucky he didn't take Andrex with him. And he continues nonetheless, and there you go, looking at the lap times up ahead. 44.1 for Brembo, 42.8 for James, and Nick Meadow and Dom are close together. Nick Meadow gained just shy of 2 seconds on Domino. Domino just has not got into the rhythm really in these wet conditions. Storm getting a 42.8 on the board as well, so he's pressing on to try and catch up with Colonel McCoy yet again. But he needs, it's all about consistency, as I mentioned before. That is what is key, particularly in endurance racing, especially in the wet. And last lap's 44.9, 47.9 for Domino. I'd be surprised if he was hoping to get a decent gap in the dry to carry over to the wet, considering the drivers knew that they were going to be in the wet for longer than the dry. But you never know. Stranger things have happened, as they say. Oh, Nick getting a bit stuck behind White Ghost. White Ghost minding his own business, and 2 Desert Pack is... Oh, he's had a very big moment coming into the pits. I think he's either had a spin or he's just been really, really far too cautious. That might be the end of 2 Desert Packs race. He's in the pits though. Very strange manoeuvre that 2 Desert Pack was trying to do. Oh, White Ghost again getting turn 6 a little bit wrong. That seems to be the dreaded turn. Nick Meadow closing in on Domino now. Look at the amount of spray. And this is just what it looks like from the spectator camera. That's what it looks like from within. And Dom again not getting this bus stop right. I think he actually bailed out of the way of Nick Meadow there. And you can't blame him at all. The windscreen wiper going like a wagging tail on that Domino's car. That'll be James coming past him. It is indeed. And we've lost one of our LMPs. That would be 2 Desert Pack, exactly as I thought. Has called it a day. James going past Nick Meadow. Oh, Domino's looking to try and capitalise on Nick Meadow being out of position. He's flown past him. Oh, very nice opportunistic move by Domino there. He hasn't given up on the fight entirely. That is good to see. He may be off the pace, but he is still trying his best to race where he can. Nick Meadow getting the inside at turn 3. That's almost going to be job done though. I'm seeing how much... Well, saying that, Dom again managing to deploy that extra straight line speed he has. Although that, from that angle, that looked like he jumped over the apex at turn 4. May not necessarily have been correct. There's a big old collection of cars that Domino finds himself in. That'll be Andrex. Oh, that's Ticklish Pickle Wickle going way too deep at turn 6 once again. Claiming another victim. Andrex staying well out of the way of that stream of cars coming past him. And Storm and Colonel McCoy are close to one another once again. They're coming. That's turn 3 that they've just come through. There's White Ghost yet again. Caught in the middle of a battle that doesn't involve him. Nick Meadow on the inside. That was always going to lead to impact. That forced Domino to go straight on. Oh, goodness me. He actually went onto the grass. Managed to hold it. And Nick Meadow, I think, has continued. He has indeed. So Nick Meadow does gain the position from Doc, but with a little bit of door banging going on. Storm yet again on Colonel McCoy's case. 42 minutes, or just under 43 minutes remaining. We are approaching the 3/4 mark then in this race. Storm continuing to pile the pressure on to Colonel McCoy. And look at that, look at the gap at the front. Just realised James is within 10 seconds of Brembo. That's the first time that gap has actually come down below 10 seconds for quite a while. So we could be seeing a lead battle very, very soon. Jump back up to this battle with Storm. Through the spray. Into turn 1. He's going to have to go to the outside. He manages just about to keep it on the road. Colonel McCoy well defended on the inside there. Into turn 3. And Colonel McCoy's gone very deep. Oh, you saw Storm get very, very squirrely. Still side by side. Storm nearly on the grass with that one. Storm and grass didn't go well before. Colonel McCoy manages to defend the position. Oh, Storm's just about managed to keep it under control. Colonel McCoy went deep at turn 5. He's handed that position over to Storm. Storm at 42.7 last time around. Very nice indeed. It would seem that Storm has the pace to sprint off into the distance, but it's all about consistency. Said that quite a few times this race, and I've said it again. It's unfortunate for Storm that his usual consistency just isn't with him tonight. That is the way it goes sometimes. Not every race goes your way, especially in these wet conditions. Here, one of the Corvettes just slightly further up the road. It's either Leon or DeHeidi. Looking at the lead LMPs, they're separated by 20 seconds on track, but their lap times were 0.005 of a second apart. Great effort by Warntire and DeHeidi there. This is how carefully Warntire has to take the bus stop chicane. And again, look at the lap times again at the front. 43.5 for Brembo, 42.5 for James. He is pushing on and pushing on. 40 minutes to go here at Daytona. A very wet and slippery Daytona it is. Is the gap Storm to Endless? It's about 8 seconds. So Storm has a long way to go if he has any hope of getting on the podium. Not impossible. Anything can happen in these remaining laps. Oh, nice lap delta there. 7.777 for James. McCoy is actually staying with Storm. Wasn't saying that gap is actually opened up to a second, and the race leader is in. Brembo has opted to pit. Now that's going to be interesting. We'll see. There could be why his pace may be fluctuating a bit. He may have burned the best out of those tyres. We haven't seen him involved in any incidents, so we'll see if he takes any repairs. The other yellow LMP is Flicken Flacken. Here he is, just going out of the shot. Conor McCoy is still with the exclamation mark on his car, but I think Storm is pulling away. That's about 1.5 seconds or so between the two now. And Brembo, that was a pretty short stop, so just tyres for the primary race leader. The man that's had it for the most. Just been demoted into third position. Endless has gone through. 44.9 last time around for Endless. Where's Storm? Oh, Storm. No, he's not going to quite take Brembo. Brembo is now back on field. The Storm is not far behind. There he is, just getting around Andrex. 2.5 seconds separates Storm and Conor McCoy now. 3 seconds separates Storm and Brembo. So Brembo struggles to get his tyres up to temperature. With it being wet, temperature is quite an important factor. There could be an opportunity for Storm to try and close in. And that was Endless, that looked like it was going a little deep at turn 6 once again. But that may have been an intentional line that he took. As a Brembo goes around turn 7 then. Wrong one. There up ahead is Endless. It'll be also interesting to see, because if Endless plans on coming into the pit, he probably won't hold Brembo up too much. However, if Endless wants to try and get to the end, and I confess I don't know if that's possible. It's something I should have asked Doc before he left, how well these tyres will hold. Actually, that's something I could probably ask him now. Yeah, I've just posed that question to Doc. So I would imagine it is setup dependent. James had a pretty bad lap, 151. He's stuck behind Flicken Flacken. And Storm is in. I wouldn't be at all surprised if I wouldn't be at all surprised if James chooses to come in as well. He's going to lose a big old chunk of time. And Brembo 158, a terrible lap by the former race leader. Now, the answer I just had from Doc, I asked him how long will the wet tyres last. His answer is they should last to the end, but they will get slower around 40 minutes into a stint, and that's, well, no, we must have had 40 minutes into the since it started getting wet. There's Popsy. He's chosen to come in, so I think by that logic, then everyone is going to come in. But we have seen people do it. We have people see, zero stop races, and that is James coming in. He has opted to ditch those tyres. The traction should get horrible at about 50 minutes or so. So they should then change tyre, which is pretty much what we're seeing. James is in. Endless. Just coming around Calfee. What is Endless going to do? 3 seconds back is Brembo. You might see him at the top of the shot. No, not quite. Does Endless come in? Yes, he does. James is away. Brembo is going to retake the race lead, but what is the lead going to be? James, of course, on the pit lane speed limiter, and it's going to feel like an age knowing that Brembo's just gone past him. Endless is in. Conor McCoy is in. Popsu, it's close to Domino. So this is a battle for 6th position. Seems to be Domino's magic number. Popsy's just gone through the pits, as we know. We're seeing the Domino's not going to fight too hard to keep Popsy behind him. And the Domino again has gone wide, either intentionally or has slid out there. Oh, White Ghost has actually caught up to Signature Pickle Wickle, I see. So White Ghost actually has some company down there. And there they are. So I don't know that TBW is going to fight that one too much. 11 seconds, so it's a similar gap. He lost a bit of time. He was about 8 seconds before the pit stops. It's now 12. It's not an insurmountable gap, but he has not got a lot of time to do anything about it now. It's going to be interesting to see how James and Brembo manage that gap at the front. Domino, of course, we've just seen him relinquish that position, and Domino is coming in. Will his pace improve with fresher tyres, I wonder? Oh, slow down. Big Crew's just staring at him. I'm assuming that is just an issue for us spectators. I don't think his pit crew would be that cruel. Nope, you can go back out the tyres you came in with. Brembo continues to lead. He stretched that lead to 14 seconds over James. There is Calfee in the GTE. Just ahead of him. Just ahead of James. 57.9. Of course, that does take into consideration the fact that anyone coming out of the pits will cross the line while still under the pit lane speed limiter. So, of course, you do have to bear that in mind for their outlap. Endless is in third position. Oh no! Endless and TBW have come together. Endless is on the grass. Tigger's Pickle Wickle is stuck, and Endless is overcooked a little bit, trying to get going again. Oh goodness me, it's still going on. Domino's in the pits quite a while. He's now coming out. He's going to be in 9th position. But with some fresh boots and maybe some damage repair on the pink and black Ligier. Storm is back up into 3rd. But he is a long way back. He's 30 seconds behind James. He is going to rely upon at least James, but hopefully the front two, as far as Storm is concerned, to have some kind of trouble for him to be able to take the win. Of course, if James does come to difficulty and Storm is able to capitalise, he could still be in with a shot at the championship. Let's have a look further down the line. Pops it. He's been minding his own business for quite some time. 15 seconds behind Endless, 32 seconds ahead of Nick Meadow. Nick's either had a spin or he's been through the pits last time around as well. We'll see what his lap time is. The lap times to the front. James gained 0.8 of a second on Brembo that time. Nick Meadow did a 45.5, so I think he had a big spin or had some kind of incident, or his pit stop happened right at the end of the pit lane to have a 2:10 last time around. Towner 44.1, pretty good lap time in these conditions. Storm did a 43.7, so he's really pressing on. Domino has really struggled this race. Nearly 3 minutes his lap time last time around, so he was in the pits quite a while. Let's hope for his sake that his pace does manage to improve. Flick and Flarkin has been pretty much minding his own business out there. He finds himself in 10th with Murphy. Murphy with a 43, actually 43.7 last time. That's close to leader's pace. It's such a shame that his race has gone so badly wrong for him. De Heidi continues to lead the GTEs. The dominant force that is De Heidi in that monstrous Corvette leads warm tyre by over 20 seconds. There is the blue and white Ford as we have hit the 75% time. Oh, and that's a spin into turn 1. It's horrible when you lose the traction like that. There's absolutely nothing you can do. Murphy's actually coming into the pits again. It's such a slow, clumsy spin, but there's nothing you can do. You're trying to come off the banking whilst braking and then still turning whilst you have come off the banking. And in these slippery conditions, it's so easy to lock up. and have a really slow spin. Leon, however, is a long, long way back. 45 seconds. Leon thought Leon was going rather slowly there, unless he maybe just had a bad run through the bus stop. It's still going though. He is third. Obvitor is actually up to fourth in the Ford. He's nearly a minute down from Leon. He leads Andrex by 3.5 seconds. We've seen Andrex in the M6 struggle, particularly with turn 6 earlier on in the race. Calfee in the yellow Ford we've seen a few times. He's very much in no man's land position wise. There's Leon. Oh no! Is that Storm? It is again. Storm getting caught out by a backmarker, and he's actually chosen. Oh, is he calling it a day? Storm is out! Storm has opted to call it a day. Frustration has gotten the better of him. He parked his car and has decided to retire from the race. Towner has been in the pits such a very long time. I think he may have retired as well. Or he's just having very extensive work done to his car. He seems to have been in there forever. Oh my goodness me, we have lost TX3 Storm from the race. He was up to third and doing what he could to try and close in on James. As Warm Tyre, second position in the GTEs, comes in as well. Brembo continues to press on. James, what is the gap? The gap is up to nearly 20 seconds. We can see he did a 56 last time. A 43.6. He gained 3 seconds nearly on Brembo last time around, but he lost nearly 10 seconds the lap previously. Just behind, that's Nick Meadow and Andrex. And Towner has got away. His last lap was 3 minutes long, so a terrible, terrible pit stop for him. But he's on his way and still in the race. One tyre's in there a long time as well, so a big pit stop. Oh, he's now away. Screaming away. And that Ford, let's try and get some heat into the rear tyres. That is Leon that's just gone past him. The two Corvettes now 1 and 2, but they are over a minute apart. Oh, a bit of sliding going on there by Leon. So he then comes through. One tyre is now out of the pit, and the gap is going to be, when the timing board sorts itself out, there is one tyre now out of the pits. Oh, that's Domino. Just managing to sneak ahead of the Ford. That is 7 seconds between One Tyre and Leon. Leon just has to kind of try and keep it clean for as long as he can. 26.5 minutes remain. We're in the closing stages of the race, or comparatively speaking. Still a fair amount of time to go. A fair amount of laps to complete. Rough maths, that's about 20 laps. Oh, that's Calfee getting out of Domino's way well and truly. Just seen Walter go through the shot there. The camera hangs there quite a long time, but so it is easy to lose track of which guy you're actually looking at. I'm going to keep an eye on James, mainly because of the lap times he's setting and the time he's taking out the lead. 45.2 against 43.9, 1.3 difference. Now I didn't see what it was when he crossed the line. There's the distinctive roar of the Ferraris, and that is TPW that he was catching up to. And James manages to easily traverse the Ferrari. And that is going to be with Storm gone, therefore that is Towner that was in the background of the shot. Just thought, oh, it could have been Endless, but I think it is Towner. It is indeed. Endless is in 4th, so that's why I didn't think it was him. Right, so Brembo, where is he? He's gone through the bus stop and he's now going through turn 12. With one of the Fords already ahead, that's White Ghost, who stays clear of our race leader. Let's see what Brembo manages to set this time around. So 144.2. Of course, we didn't follow James through his lap. I think the gap has increased, so it hasn't been as good a lap for him. And his lap is... he hits the line now. That was a 43.6 with 16.5 seconds, give or take, between the pair at the point he hits the line, and he took another 0.6 out of it. So 16.5 seconds with, I would say, just under 20 laps to go. At that pace, it's doable, but we've seen how easy it is for mistakes to happen, even for the good and the great amongst our racers. 18 cars remain. We started with 22. We've lost 2 apiece from our GTEs and LMPs. So James pretty much just has to finish the race in a points-paying position, and the championship will be his. With Storm, unfortunately, succumbing to the pressure and choosing to end his race early. And he presses on. I think he has gained quite a big fistful of points this time around. And of course, the time gap will decrease dramatically as Brembo has gone through the bus stop section. Andrex is now in the pits. Oh, James! Oh, he's pushed it too hard. And he's ended up nose into the wall, which means he's had to reverse. Oh no, James. Commentator curse for you. I apologise in advance. That's Murphy, the other black LMP has gone past with Nick Meadow as well. So at least he has some company there. They're not on the same lap as him. At least he's not completely on his own, as Andrex falls to 7th in the GTE field. It's probably likely that others are going to pit, and there it is, 53. He'd lost 5 seconds as a result of that spin. Oh, and he's pushing too hard. He's overdriving. Actually, it looked like both of the black Ligiers came off the field there. Technically, Murphy should really be getting out of James's way, but to be fair, James hasn't been in a position to try and pass. Andrex has been in the pits a very, very long time. Actually, TBW's gone past him, so that puts Andrex stone last. It's not a position you tend to find him in. And you can see on the map how badly that's affected James. You can see the white dot just coming off of turn 7. That is Brembo. So unless Brembo has a similar issue, James may well have thrown away the opportunity for the win. But we will see. Still some way to go. And it is very, very easy to get complacent in where you are, especially if you've been in that position for quite a while. One of the Corvettes going past the camera. De Heidi is still setting 156s. He is just unstoppable in that Corvette. And last time I commentated on an endurance event here, De Heidi won that one in the GTE field. 45.3 by Brembo. Doesn't have to push too hard. And there's James. He's broken clear of Nick Meadow. And his teammate that's already ahead. Or at least someone sharing the same livery as he is. Brembo has a penalty, but it is only 2 seconds in length. Penalties have Towner's penalties extended to 20 seconds, but everyone else has remained the same. Andrex ended up with a 10-second penalty. That's speeding in the pit lane. Oh my goodness me, he couldn't slow it down enough, I suspect. Coming into the pits. Oh my goodness me, 4 minutes he was in the pit lane for. A disaster for the GTE frontrunner. 44.4 for James that time around, so again that's clawed back 9/10, but with the time remaining and the gap that's there, that's not really going to be enough. Oh, it's all out of shape. Why is Murphy not getting out of his way? I mean, Murphy's not on the same lap as James. He should really be jumping out of the way, but there'll be a few words said between those two, I suspect. Unless, of course, James has informed him not to get out of the way. They are actually setting, similar pace, 44.1 to 44.4. It was actually in Murphy's favour. Towner 43.6. There's still pace to be found out there. And Fleckenflaken comes in. So there may still be pit stops yet to do. That'll be the Heidi. It is indeed. With Calfee as well for company along there. You can actually see from the onboard shot how bumpy those curves actually are. It looks quite smooth from the outboard shot, but the LMPs do bounce around quite a lot. And now Murphy does let James through. James with a 43.3, 1.4 seconds off the lead gap. That's more the sort of pace he has to set if he wants any opportunity to win. That's one tyre getting out of the way. James managing to get through the traffic fairly comfortably. And Popsu is getting close to Endless apparently. He is indeed. The pair of TX3 drivers getting quite close to one another. And that is Domino that is just ahead of them. Popsy not in an attacking position yet, but he is getting there. He gained 2 seconds almost on the nose on Endless last time around. 45.5 for Endless, 44.1 for Popsu. Another, was it 7/10? No, I'm looking at that completely wrong. Another 1.3 seconds for Popsy that time around. We have a position battle to talk about at least. A lead battle at the moment at least. Oh, goodness me, Popsy getting very, very squirrely on the exit of turn 5. Struggling to get the power down when he needs it. He's really started to get in striking range of Endless. Endless has got past Domino. Domino has got to get out of the way. Oh, I think he went to get out of the way, but then went for the racing line for some reason. Maybe he didn't realise Popsu was there. And now Popsu's going to go underneath Domino on the bottom side of the turn, but that has shortened the gap between Popsu and Endless. Oh, Domino getting a bit of slipstream. They are allowed to unlap themselves as long as they do not hold up the person they're trying to unlap themselves from, and Domino's flown straight on. And he dutifully slowed down so as to not interfere with Popsy on the other side of the bus stop. As Oblator gets past TBW, and Popsy getting a great run on that turn 12. Times again have come there. Well, that gap has shortened to nearly nothing. 43.9 for Popsu, 45.6, 1.5 seconds, or 1.7 seconds indeed. And Endless goes deep into turn 1, and Popsu slides around turn 1 and very comfortably takes that 4th position from Endless. And he's got to hang on to it. You see both of the drivers opting to take quite a wide line around turn 3. I suspect there's probably standing water on the apex of that turn. Both of our leaders in the 43s, half a second to James's favour that time, 43.9 to 43.4. Popsu also getting into the 43.9s as previously mentioned. What a race it has been! What a race it has been! And this is still keeping up with Popsy, but I think Popsy is now going to start to sprint away with the lap time differences we've seen between the pair of them. That is Popsy's position now. He's 27 seconds behind Colonel McCoy, so really he's going to take a spin from the Orange Ligier for Popsy to get that one, and this time Brembo extends his lead by 3/10 over James. 44.2 from the Black Ligier. Oh, Popsu, that's not good. He's had a struggle getting out of the bus stop. That's going to help Endless close in on him. I think Endless had an even worse run out of the bus stop. Looking at that, it's Popsy is now powering away and off away from his Tier 3 brethren. White Ghost comes in. It's not impossible for our front runners to opt to come in again, but it's quite unlikely, I would think. We're going to see too many more pit stops. Less than 15 minutes to go. This man, Brembo, has led the way almost all race. Oblitor comes into the pits as well. 44.8 for Brembo last time around. Let's actually follow him through a lap. So he comes through turn 1. To the chicane of 2. The quite common line for 3 is to avoid the apex entirely. Wouldn't be at all surprised if there's a fair bit of standing water on that apex. That'll be why they were avoiding it. 43.4 from James, 1.4 seconds that time. Pickery existing partially in another reality. Yep, they had that phased look about them. Ooh, Leon and Worn Tyre. Whilst we're going to follow a lap through Brembo, the marker comes up for Leon, the Corvette, on the back of Worn Tyre. Well, well, well. This is for second in the GTE field. Leon is either pitted, no, Leon I think has spun. We didn't see Leon in the pits again. That was quite a wide entrance that Leon's opted. De Heidi has chosen to pit. There's me saying we're not likely to see many more pit stops. De Heidi has had a massive lead though at the front. We've just seen Worn Tyre and Leon go through to start another lap. And De Heidi's just had a very, very quick pit stop. Almost lapped the entire GTE field, as has been his dominance of the race for his class. But Leon has already managed to squeeze past the Ford before they get to turn 5. So Leon resuming the Corvette 1-2, but Worn Tyre's not willing to give up on that one just yet. They come into turn 6. Leon feels the need to defend the inside of that turn. It's not always ideal to have to turn right into a left-hander, but you did see the input for the Ford, and he's got the bottom of turn 7, and he's going to squeeze back into second. Leon had no answer. You can see on the rear camera there that Leon's slipped back into position, and Worn Tyre staying very close to the inside. Now has resumed the racing line. It's going to go through the bus stop. Not too bad. Whoa dear, Leon's had trouble, I think. Yeah, you saw actually Leon disappear from the rear camera, which meant he went onto the grass. And that has lost him 1 and a bit seconds over Worn Tyre as TBW comes into the pits in the Ferrari. Leon is struggling in these closing stages. For those that are opting not to pit, they are going to be getting pretty down to the bare bones as far as tyres are concerned. So this will be where strategy starts to play a part. Into turn 1 again. Leon will gain in the braking zone. 59.8 to 58.8. Of course, with Leon making that mistake in the bus stop chicane. Less than 11 minutes to go. Be about 8 laps, give or take. Depending on where Brembo is or when the time it hits 0. And we have lost one of our LMPs. We are down to 17. Who did we lose? I don't know is the answer to that. We have lost another. It's 2 Desert Pack we've lost. What a shame. There you go, shame. His first attempt, I think, in this league. Was, if it's not his first attempt in this league, it's been a while since I've seen 2 Desert Pack in the LMPs. And unfortunately was not able to see the checkered flag. That's where I've been told he's been in every single race and I've completely forgotten. If that's the case, I do wholeheartedly apologise. I have the worst memory at the best of times. Leon's going to try and catch up with the Ford of Worn Tyre, but it does look like he's struggling to get back into his pace. Maybe he has burnt the best out of those tyres. Less than 10 minutes remain. here at Daytona. Fatigue will certainly be playing a factor in the race. 42.9 as clocked on the board from James. But on he continues nonetheless. Worn tyre able to extend that gap even further. Although only 7/10 was the time between worn tyre and Leon that time. And there you can see the Ford trying to sprint off into the distance. Is that Popsy coming up? It is, absolutely, from 4th place. It's pretty equidistant between Conor McCoy and Endless. 20 seconds, give or take, fore and aft. James is pressing on. That's Murphy that's still with him. Both of them in the 42s. Well, 42s last time around. Now, why not? If James can help Murphy. Although Murphy's gone a bit deep into turn 1. Oh! Was that Andrex? It was. Andrex has completely binned it at turn 6. Turn 6 yet again claiming another victim. Huge. Well, you can't even use the bonnet cap. The bonnet is now a completely rearranged shape. Look at that. That is going to come off in a minute. That's actually entering the car. That's probably decapitated its driver. Andrex shunting the wall. The final race of the season is getting worse and worse for Andrex, unfortunately. And there it goes. Boing. It pinged away onto the infield quite spectacularly there. Oh dear, oh dear. Big problem then for Andrex. Let us jump up to our leaders. Brembo has maintained, he's still over 14 seconds down the road. And there he is. Brembo is going to cross the line to start lap 68. 43.0 last time around, so a pretty healthy lap from him. James has been in second for the vast majority of the race. Last lap time for him. Catching up to one of the Fords. That is Calfeed already ahead. 42.5, so he's still getting the 42's in. Oh, Calfee! He's lost his rear wing. That's a pit stop for him. Unless he chooses to retire in the closing stage of the race, he may opt to do so. Goodness me. James just not anticipating the braking spot from Calfee. And just wasn't even a major tap between the LMP and the Ford. No visible damage on James's nose there. That just caught him completely by surprise and took the rear wing off of Calfee's car. It's going to be quite a pig to handle now, unfortunately. You can see there the last lap from Andrex, 209, 220 by White Ghost. So he had a problem as well. There's TBW in the Ferrari. Staying out of James's way. Conor McCoy in the final podium position. He's been carrying that damage for quite a long time now. We saw him cross swords with Storm quite a few times as the race continued. And now continues on his merry way, nearly a minute down from James. 10 seconds ahead of Popsy, so a comfortable gap behind him. There is Popsy. 43.3. We've lost another. We've lost one of the GTEs. That will be Calfee. Oh no, Calfee's still going. Who did we just lose? I'm not 100% certain who we just lost actually from our GTE field. White Ghost. We've just lost the white Ford. Oh dear. So White Ghost has had a problem. This has forced him to retire. Oh, Calfee! Oh, Nick Meadow went underneath, and Calfee's actually chosen to continue. I wonder if he realises he's got no rear wing on his car. He must know that the There's just no grip in that Ford anymore. Only 0.3 of a difference at the front. Lap time wise, less than 5 minutes remain. As we count down to the checkered flag. Where is Brembo? There he is, coming up to the bus stop once more. 1:43 or thereabouts is the lap times that we've been seeing. It's going to be 4 minutes, or just under 4 minutes, when Brembo crosses the lap. So, crosses the line. So 4 laps at most. The crowd are quite enjoying that. A 42.0 from Popsy last time around. And Murphy with a 42.3. Wow. And Brembo with a 42.0, I just realised. Goodness me. Very nearly getting into the 41s in the slippery conditions. It does actually look like the rain has stopped. So we are actually seeing, for the last few laps, it would seem there's no rain falling. So that will be why the lap times are starting to come down. Into turn 5. 15 seconds clear of James, just under. So no direct pressure for the lead. Brembo can just not only spit fire, but he can just enjoy the last few laps he has of this race. Around the banking once more. No one anywhere near him ahead. There's no one he has to avoid. You can see the white dot on the map. That is where James is. Just coming through turn 6 himself. Through the bus stop once more. You can visibly see how much harder that they're now able to attack the circuit. Yes, there's spray coming up, but there's no rain falling, so the water on the track will clear pretty quickly. Let's follow Brembo through them. What is going to be his penultimate lap? Or to begin his penultimate lap, as he bins it somewhere. 2:13 on the clock. 1:41.1 was his last time around, so 2 laps to go. Still stays wide at turn 1, so he's either gone in there too hot or he's avoiding water that may still be there on the apex of 1 through 2. Yeah, most people have gone for that wider line through 3. Actually, he went for the apex that time, so, and I think he suffered as a result because he really had a big twitch of oversteer there. Couldn't quite see who that was further ahead, possibly Endless. No, was it Endless? No, it wasn't Endless behind him, so it was Popsy then. That is just ahead. Is the car ahead of him as he goes through turn 5 without trouble. Into the dreaded turn 6 that's caught so many drivers out, but you can see how much more confidence Brembo had. He hit the apex quite hard, and everyone's been steering clear of the apex for quite some time. A 140.3 from Murphy. Very, very nice. A long turn 7. Just only a couple of cars ahead, and I doubt Brembo's going to be worried about him. Oops, little bit deep through bus stop. That affected his exit. I don't think Brembo's going to mind as he comes around to complete lap 71, and he will have just 1 lap to go. The race here he has been sat in the lead of for well over 3/4 of. Oh, that's someone that's parked it. That was Calfee. I thought it might be. I admire his dedication to carry on without pitting for the new wing. And there's Domino in the background. Well, well, what might have been if Brembo had been in the season to begin with. But it was not the case. Let's hope we see Brembo for future seasons of the Endurance League. The checkered flag is now out. As he comes through turn 6. Just 6 more turns to do for Brembo to take that checkered flag and the win that has been very, very well deserved for the yellow and black Ligier. James tried his best to keep up with this incredible pace. In the end, it was not meant to be, but even still, the LMP Championship will still go to him, with his main rival Storm sadly not able to continue his incredible consistency. Storm's had some incredible pace. He's already celebrating, look. Yeah, Storm's had some incredible pace, but some incredible bad luck as well. I don't think he will probably agree with, but your race winner for the LMP field, and he's quite rightly celebrating himself. It is Brembo in the black and yellow Ligier. Where is Heidi? He is just coming through turn 4. He's quite away from the line, and a 1:39.4 to finish the day with. Here is James to take second place and the championship then for the LMP field. He's happy with that. And that is the second podium spot for James. Colonel McCoy. That's how far behind Colonel McCoy was to James. Colonel McCoy has just gone through turn 6. Where's Hyde? Let's keep an eye on where he is. He's actually around the same kind of point. That will be Flickenflacken. He may well be at the tail end of the LMP field, but he has set some pretty respectable pace for his first attempt in this league. Would gladly see him back to try his hand once more. He's just behind him, isn't he? He is indeed. Where is Colonel McCoy? Colonel McCoy is the car that's already behind Heidi. And there goes Colonel McCoy. He's going to get past Corvette. And of course, he's going to take that third place anyway. Flash of the lights by Heidi. And he is every reason to be happy with himself. Heidi, the GTE champion, throws it into the wall. And we've gone back to the pits. That wasn't quite what I was expecting, but that's actually it's because everyone else was lapped. That's why it has jumped back. So Brembo has taken the win. James, our new LMP champion, second. Colonel McCoy 3, Popsy 4, Endless 5, Nick Meadow 6, Domino 7, Murphy 8, and Flickenfarken surrounding out the LMP field, with Heidi taking the win in the GTE field and the championship with him. One tie to Leon. Great effort for him, but some bad luck as well along the way. Oblator 4, Calvi 5, TBW 6, and Andrex. His race just disintegrating towards the end to finish at the tail of the field. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for those that have been with us throughout the stream. It's a great pleasure to commentate for you. That is the end of the race and the end of the endurance season. My name is King-Kodiak, and we will see you back here for more AOR action. Thank you very much, and good night.